great adventure. So far this morning, I have traveled across 12 miles of sea ice, and I am portaging over to a river where I will travel up the river ice to another portage and overland to another remote river. Then I will travel upriver several miles to a shelter cabin where I plan to make breakfast and deploy a game camera in hopes of getting some pictures of predators. Then finally, I will cross over a pass into a large drainage and travel back down to the sea ice and cross over to my cabin. I hope you enjoyed today's trip. Coming off the river ice and portaging over land is a nice change of scenery. This is a huge caribou track. You can see where it crossed the river and went into the brush on the bank. From the color, you can tell this caribou rack has been out here for a few years. This is a dandy bull skull on the outskirts of someone's fall hunting campsite. This small pass separates two river drainages. Up ahead you can see a minor ground storm. The 20-mile-an-hour wind is blowing snow and reducing visibility. I want to see over this bank. Okay, if I go down there, it's a day's worth of work getting out. This little shortcut is over a backwater slough that the snow has been blown off of. The scratching noise is my skegs, or carbide runners on the bottom of my skis. The video does not do justice to how beautiful it is back here. Back on the trail, the cabin's not far now. I'm going to turn around so I can park right in front of the door. Currently, it's negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Cabins generally have a stockpile of wood in case of emergencies. I like to add some wood at the beginning of the season so I don't feel bad using some when I stop in to warm up. I'm going to bring some gear in and get a fire started. Somewhere in here I have stuff to get a fire started. Have you ever noticed whenever you need anything, it's always on the bottom? Statistically speaking, sometimes it should be on the top. My flashlight. I'll use that later. As I expected, right on bottom. I left the door open for light, and why not? It's just as cold outside as it is inside right now. My hands are getting cold. Cardboard, I'll use that. I'm going to cut some kindling, so I'm looking for a couple pieces of wood that are straight grained and without any knots. That'll make the job easier. I don't know if this flashlight will help or not, but you can see the shadow of my camera on the wall now. My hands are cold enough now that they feel like they're burning. Mittens are the warmest hand wear, but they're not optimal for cutting firewood. We've all chopped a lot of firewood, so I'm going to skip to the end. I like to start with one big piece of firewood and make a lean-to out of the kindling. It's easier and more efficient than trying to make a teepee. I always save my dryer lint because it ignites faster than anything else. When your hands are really cold, you lose dexterity in your fingers, and simple tasks are much harder to complete. As soon as the fire starts going, I add small pieces of kindling to get it going. Now that the fire's going, I'm going to head out and put up a trail camera, and by the time I get back, the cabin should be warm. The place I'm going to set up a game camera today is only 20 minutes from the shelter cabin. There's no doubt that this old cabin was originally built here to take advantage of a natural game corridor. I will stop back here and have a look after I finish setting up the game camera. Animals frequently travel along tree lines, or just inside them. This offers them cover and easy escape. I'm going to parallel this patch of timber and look for a natural entry point that might attract animals as they move through here. You can see from the tracks in the snow that this natural opening has funneled at least one animal. First, I'm going to clear the low-hanging branches away from where the camera will be placed. This will help reduce the amount of false triggers during a windstorm. Now I'm going to screw the base of the game camera mount into the tree. The battery on my camera went dead, so we'll just look at the finished product. Now that the camera's set up, I pulled my sled ahead and I'm going to dump some bait on the trail to the camera. I'll be quick about this task. I'm sure that back in the day, this was a great hunting cabin. If walls could tell stories, this cabin could entertain all of us. With all that done, now I'm going to lay a trail down that will lead to my camera. It is common that animals use established trails to move through the snow. It's just more efficient. I cannot count the number of times that I have cut a new trail and returned a couple days later to find that it's being used by local wildlife. This stretch is absolutely beautiful. A couple of sleds left along the trail. It's nice to see that the fire is still going. It's warm in here. Warm enough I need to take some gear off. I'm going to put some water on for coffee. When using a percolator, you should get the water boiling before you add coffee. Water in my thermos is already hot. I heat it before I leave in the morning so it doesn't freeze, and that way if you get in a tough spot, you have something hot to drink. I'm also going to start heating my cast iron skillet. It's actually hot enough in here that I'm going to need to let some cold air in. That's a good problem to have. Now that the water's percolating, I'm going to add some coffee. The diffuser helps to spread water out evenly over the coffee. I'll check the temperature. Coffee, just like Grandpa used to make at hunting camp. I've not eaten breakfast yet, and this might not look like a gourmet meal, but I guarantee it's the best I'm going to get this morning. I hoped for eggs sunny side up, but these eggs were trail beaten into an egg froth. They will be perfect. back on the trail. Here's a cool find. I'm going to take a quick look at this cabin. The drifted snow here must be 4 or 5 feet deep. I'm going to peek in this window. It looks like a comfy little hunting shack. Caribou tracks, but I didn't see any animals in the valley ahead. I think I saw something up on this hill. I'll go take a look. Sure enough. What a view. This would be a great camping place. The trail portages overland here. Moose tracks. They sink into the snow much further than caribou because moose are much heavier. These snow berms on the banks of the river attract a lot of predators because they can easily walk up here and have a great view of both the river and the brush. thanks for coming along today. I'm planning more Alaska adventures, so feel free to subscribe.